The past few weeks have been relatively quiet for severe weather, with most of it occurring in the southern portions of the U.S. However, this looks to change as early as next week. Numerous rounds of severe weather bringing tornadoes, large hail, and possibly even derechos looks likely to occur throughout the end of the month into June. In this video, we'll be going over the possible threats for the next couple of weeks. Before we begin, don't forget to like and subscribe to never miss any storm chasing or weather forecasting content. Alright, hello guys, welcome back to another video. So it's been a little while since I've done a forecast, but I'm really excited to get into this. We've got a pretty active looking stretch for the next couple of weeks coming here. So right now we're looking at surface-based CAPE and with hodograph, so that shows the wind profile of in the atmosphere and obviously the instability. So these really combined together can really show a lot of the chances for severe weather. So you can see it really starts kicking up here in the next couple of days. So today we don't have too much. We've got a little bit of a chance in southern Iowa here. There's a marginal risk all the way up through Wisconsin. And then tonight you can see all that. But as you can see, this tomorrow we've got a slight risk in place already. I will show you guys the SBC Outlook soon. But as you can see, look at all this. Lots of instability reaching up here. And by 21Z, you've got tons of it down in Kansas. And a lot of instability down here. Slight risk, 5% tornado chance a lot for this areas here. And we also have a hail chance up in this area in Iowa. And then as you can see, Monday, that was Sunday. For Monday, we have the same thing. You can see all this instability really rising up north in the southern Kansas. And as you can see right here, that's really unstable. We've got 4,200 instability. That's a lot. That's a lot of CAPE for this time of year. And then you can see it really starts pushing this way. And then on Tuesday, we've got another looking event. And this is a more major event. That's already an enhanced risk for day 4, which is pretty rare, really. So I'll go over all this stuff in the SBC when we get there, but you can see lots of instability for this time of the year, as you can see. And then you can see even on Wednesday we got some more coming here through there. And then we got another system which looks like even this weekend hitting through. As you can see, this is Friday, and just almost the exact same as that last one. And then I'll keep pushing here. Hold on. There we go. Keep pushing here. That next day, you look down in Oklahoma, you can see another one on, this is on Saturday. And then you can see another one pushing in on Sunday itself down in southern Oklahoma. And then look at that, even more instability coming in here on that next Monday. That's like crazy for this time of year. We're starting to get close to June. You're going to get lots of instability. A lot of these days are going to produce strong hail, damaging winds, and probably even stronger tornadoes. You can see we get kind of a troughing setup that keeps it all south once we get past this next week, which should keep stuff down south. But we're going to look at some of the upper air maps here quick. As you can see, thing with tomorrow, we don't have as much upper air support, so we're not going to get likely as widespread of an event. These are called mesoscale days, is what people usually refer to them as. So usually you're just going to have smaller scale tornadic events happen in 1 or 2 storms in like a certain area where stuff just magically kind of happens perfectly. It's hard to explain that, but basically it's like everything just happened to be right, and you won't usually get larger scale events like in April, like we had, like that kind of stuff. You need some upper air support. As you can see right here, though, this is Monday. Let me go to Sunday. So as you can see, where the severe weather is going to be up here, you really don't have as much upper air support. You got a little bit here, but it's just not quite enough to be a larger scale outbreak. So this will likely be a large hail day, and then once you get to that evening hours, that lower level jet will kick in. You can see it gets up here a little bit. And then Monday, same kind of thing. You get a little bit better. You're starting to get that upper air support just starting to come with this trough, but Tuesday is that major day. That could possibly be the major day, because you see this. We really start getting that upper air support, and you get a lot of lower level jet kicking in, and then you can see it coming through. And Wednesday, same thing. You're going to have those couple will be major days, and you can see another one starts coming through on this Friday into the Saturday and next weekend. We got a lot of severe weather coming up in the next few days. It could definitely be a pretty significant week for raising the tornado total for the year and everything. We're just about average. Actually, I think we may have just crept below because we haven't had too much, but we're setting around average, and I think this next week could really push us over the kind of that hump of being on the average. So next we're going to check out the SBC site and see what their outlooks look like. Alright, so we're starting on the SBC site. That's for just today, so lower end risk today. I didn't even notice they had a slight, whoops, haven't checked for a little while. Had a 2% tornado also for parts of Wisconsin and Michigan. Let's see, wind, we got 5% wind, 5% hail for a lot of these areas, mostly wind down in this portion, and then we got a little bit of hail. And you can see Florida has a little bit of a risk also. We got a slight risk down there with the 2% tornado right along the coast. But tomorrow's where we really start kicking into these major events possibly. 5% tornado risk for parts of Kansas, And then we have a 30% wind, significant wind, and a 15% significant hail. So it looks like tomorrow is going to be a wind threat a lot after the main couple storms. But as you can see where this hail is 15% significant, usually that shows you the isolated storms. So they're really going to start out isolated, and then they're going to congeal into some sort of linear part. I will show you guys in depth a little bit the higher resolution models at some point very soon. But as you can see, it does seem to want to congeal into a line and be a significant wind threat. Let's see, shortwave trough, yeah, that's what I was saying, sorry. As you can see, that doesn't have as much upper level support, so you're not going to have that larger scale, but you could really have a pretty significant smaller scale event within a smaller area like this. Sunday morning through this, let's see all this, let's see, it should say, storms that initially develop in Kansas will be likely supercells with capable of all severe hazards, including very large hail. The uncertainty in this scenario, including very large hail, how long they can remain discrete. So that'll show you how the large hail chances are and usually what the tornado chances are. So the longer they stay discrete, the longer you have chances for actually stronger tornadoes and larger hail. Otherwise, you start getting that linear, and then it really starts being messy, and you're not going to have as much. There is signal to develop within the intensifies it gradually. Outflow dominant, there you can see. It does become outflow dominant initially and lead to quicker clustering. So there's two different methods right now that could happen. I'll go over what the models say right now, and I'll let you guys see what all that is. But there's two different modes that could happen. A more discrete one, which would be better for strong tornadoes and large hail. And then there's also more linear, which would be better for weaker lived tornadoes, which they could still have a ton of tornadoes, just a lot weaker ones, and damaging winds. So now we're going to day 3, which is Monday. Yeah, Monday. Sorry, getting the days mixed up. Not being in school gets me the days mixed up a little bit. We got a 15% just risk. Basically, it could be any of the severe categories. A slight risk for a lot of portions of western Iowa, northern Kansas, southeastern Nebraska, northwest Missouri. And marginal spreads a lot further. Okay, here we go. Southwest Kansas and the southwest Iowa. Large-scale ascent will be nebulous in the afternoon. Capping will likely suppress convection through at least mid-afternoon. So a lot of they're trying to say that it's going to be evening mainly. That's usually how that's kind of works. You get that lower-level jet, and you're going to get stuff to start firing up in that later evening hours. Vertical shear will increase. So we got like that. And then evenings. Thunderstorm clusters may initiate by early evening with potential for MCS development during the nighttime hours. So they're really kind of just saying mostly going to be a linear kind of event. With mostly damaging winds and maybe some shorter-lived tornadoes in the threat risk. That's kind of their thinking right now. Now we'll go to day 4 through 8. So as you can see, we already have that slight risk, or that enhanced risk, and a large slight risk for that day. Looks like a major possible day, a possibly major day already, and we're quite a bit of the ways out. We got a day 6, 15% chance. This is probably for Thursday or Friday. Yeah, Thursday. Like you could see on the GFS model, you could see it occurring already, and nothing else. Predictability. So day 4, it says negatively tilted, so that's usually a lot better for tornadic potential. These negatively tilted upper shortwave troughs, and you got a lot more upper level support on that day, so you could really have that major event on Tuesday and Wednesday are those kind of major days, possibly major days. They have a much better chance of actually being pretty significant and large scale for lots of the U.S. As you can see, this Outlook spreads for probably a fifth of the U.S. So very, very large area possible in the risk area. So let's see, 60-degree dew points and widespread, cold front, linear. Okay. The current expectation is that the linear MCS will evolve over Iowa, Missouri, and shift east throughout the evening. While damaging wind gusts will be the primary hazard, large hail and tornadoes will also be possible. And especially if anything can stay discrete, like I had mentioned before, you're going to get your lot better chance of stronger tornadoes and everything like that. Now, it is interesting to note that the 26th of April, which that was that larger tornado outbreak, also started out as being forecast as MCS. So it's really hard to forecast storm mode this far out because things can really change quickly. So it's now I would take that a little bit with a grain of salt because you could still have that larger scale tornado outbreak. But as of right now, the SBC and a lot of people think, I personally do think that it looks to be more linear in MCS right now. So we'll see how that can develop. I will be storm chasing Monday and Tuesday likely. Maybe not Monday if it looks super linear, but I'll still be thinking about that one. With southward extent to Oklahoma, ports of the Ozarks, convective may be coverage less, so then that's where you're going to get a lot better chance of discrete mode. So capping may erode less efficiently, so you also may not get any storms. So I mean, Yeah, it's a chance. It's really hit or miss down there. We'll just have to see what happens over the next couple days when we get those cam models. It'll be really interesting to see what's going on down there. But we're going to go back to models right now, and then we're going to see some more smaller scale details about tomorrow and Monday. All right, first off, we're going to start with tomorrow, obviously. A little easier to forecast. As you can see, we got a little bit of convection overnight. But by 5 p.m., you really can see that starting to develop. This is the HRRR model, so one of the better high-resolution models. 4 p.m., you're still starting to get some stuff over by Garden City. And then watch, as you can see right here, a little bit, boom. And then you really start to get some rapid convection starting down near Dodge City around 6 p.m. So, and you can see it's instantly linear on this model. But as you can see up here, look up here near the Nebraska-Kansas border, you get some more discrete-looking modes. Let's see what the photographs and models can look like. That is some really backed winds, but very, very contaminated. It's probably not a great sounding to use. Let me go to photographs and Cape. Go to that same time period. Let me let it load for a second. Sorry, guys. Be able to see it in a second. There we go. 5 p.m. Yeah, that must be right along the warm front, I'm guessing, because you get some really nice backed winds up here. You see that when those photographs start bending back towards themselves, as where you get that backing wind like that. Let's go back over here, kind of near that's right along the triple points, what they call that, which is where your low pressure system and your warm front and your cold front all kind of match up, and you get a lot of better chance of some tornadoes there because you get those backing winds really strong. But portions down here, you're gonna start seeing a lot less backing, as you can see here, but littler photographs. Storm motions aren't too fast, 18 knots. That's pretty good. But look at this huge spread between dew points and temperatures. That's where you're going to get large hail, really elevated storms. When you get that super high discrepancy between those two is where you're not going to have as much tornado chance, which is good for the people that live there, definitely. Likely going to be some pretty nicely structured storms. You get a little bit of middle level instability, capping. But yeah, 31 degrees is a really huge gap between there. As you can see, this is the LCLs with how high the storms are, and they are very high. Usually when I'm right here for tornadoes, and they're all the way up here. Not very great low-level shear either, 12 knots. It's not very conducive for tornadoes. So it looks more like a hail and wind day to me tomorrow. But as it becomes linear and it gets closer to night, I have a feeling we're going to get better off. Here, let me go a couple more hours. And, right, yeah, as you can see right here, once it gets 7 p.m.-ish, yeah, look how much better those look. Still not great, and a lot of low-level instability. So I have a feeling tomorrow is going to be a lot more of a hail and wind day, which I will not be surprised if that happens. Now let me go to the NAM 3K model and do kind of the same thing. We're going to check out what it looks like. The model is not loaded for that hour, so we're going to go to 12Z. See what tomorrow looks like first, and then we'll go right to the next day. Alright, 4 a.m. we got some storms. 5 p.m. Oh yeah, look how much more isolated it looks. Down in southwest Kansas, you got a lot more isolated storm mode. The NAM 3K has almost always shifted southwest, which is really interesting. I've noticed that over the few years I've storm chased and forecasted for. But you can see a lot better isolated mode, which is interesting for it because it's usually not like that. This model is usually pretty poor at detecting isolated modes, so that might be something really interesting to keep watch. But we're seeing, yeah, look at that. You can see this model is not wanting to convect during the daytime hours on Monday, so that's really interesting. That we may not get daytime storms, so you could really just be completely linear like the SBC was mentioning. I do have a feeling tomorrow is going to be a lot less, Monday is going to be a lot less daytime stuff. We're going to get mostly nighttime MCS tornadoes, so it should be a good day if you live in that area. It should be pretty alright. Just basically wait for that wind risk and the hail risk that could possibly come through the next couple hours there. Let's go look at the regular NAM, and we're going to go look at Iowa. Let's just go to the Midwest. Let's go to the Central U.S. And then we'll just go over the next couple days. We'll just go to, let's go Supercell Composite. Kind of throws everything together, so it's a little easier to see for you guys instantly where the best chances for stuff are. So Sunday, as you can see, there's a lot of Supercell Composite down in this area. That's where that MCS is going to form along. There's your warm front. That's where you're going to have your best tornado chances. If I was chasing this, I would definitely be along this warm frontal boundary here. We're going to take a box sounding here and see what it shows. Yeah, a little more backing winds here. Still pretty porous separation here. Really high levels. I don't know. I don't think I'd want to chase it. Just doesn't look quite as good. Looks like we got some supercell composite, obviously, because you can see in southern Iowa. Mainly hail risk will be up there because this will be south of the boundary, and you won't have that forcing there to get anything started. So you're really going to only have severe hailers on the north side, which you can't produce tornadoes because you're way too elevated. But you can see when we start getting this next run, you get this little area right here. That's a lot better, but still really large separation. A little bit more low LCLs. Let me take a little more of a box sound in here. See what it can show here. That's a lot more conducive for tornadoes. It still looks like mainly a nice structure day for right now, but we'll see if it can change. Is when you get to nighttime, this is where you're going to start getting your tornadic possibilities, especially with that MCS. Lots of instability, insanely high. That's a lot better of a photograph here. That's where you're going to start actually having chances for tornadoes. So overnight's really the main kind of threat over the next 2 days for tornadoes. But as you can see, really, Monday evening, it looks really intense once it starts actually having storms produced. But I don't think we're going to do daytime stuff. Just it's a little too far of a gap. There's no warm nose, but the NAM is always a little bit aggressive on these kind of models like this. But let's see what even the next day shows. Tuesday. This looks like the more major possible day. As you can see, lots of it for portions of Iowa early on in the afternoon. Yeah, you don't like these looping. Usually that can kill off a meso, so not overly great on the photograph, but you can see there's some pretty good low-level shear. 34 knots is a lot, and barely any separation between this. This is PDS tornado, but usually those aren't very accurate. No analogs along here, but 2,500 Cape, that's definitely plenty enough. Dew points are pretty decent. It'll probably be better when we get to cam models to see what's going on with them, because I have a feeling that the NAM's not really the best model for this kind of stuff. Let's check out the SRF ensemble so we can kind of see what the instability is looking like for tomorrow. It's about 3,000, a lot of widespread surface-based, which I'm not surprised about. This time of year, you're going to get a lot of instability. Now, Monday, same thing. You could get a little more even, 3,500, a lot of this area. But likely not going to get anything during the day. And then you get close to 4,000 by 7 p.m. And then let's see what Tuesday's showing. Yeah, man, look at Tuesday. Also 3,500. I mean, this is crazy instability levels. But we're near the end of May, and we're getting to June. You're going to get lots and lots of instability over those areas. But basically, yeah, I'm seeing a lot of hail risk for the next couple days. Mesoscale days, like I had mentioned, don't have as good of upper level support. But you could still realistically get some tornadoes if you get some good things to happen along boundaries, outflow boundaries, and different things. If you can stay isolated tomorrow, I do see a tornado chance. Unfortunately, though, for chasers, it just looks like that dew point temperature spread is going to be a little bit too high to get something really sustained to happen. I feel like you're going to get those elevated hailers with some nice structure to happen tomorrow. Those classic ones you see in the northern plains this time of year and stuff, and it'll be a good day for chasing, but I don't think there's gonna be as many tornadoes. Monday, same thing, really. Just looks more MCS-y at night. There's gonna be probably a lot of tornadoes, and I bet same thing on Sunday tomorrow. There's gonna be a good chunk of tornadoes, but that after dark and not chaseable really. Tuesday, it really depends on what the storm mode says. It'll be what the models can do and how they perform over the next couple days and hours. To see which one, if it falls to isolated mode or if it just continues to be that more linear mode that it's staying. But I do have a feeling we'll see a lot of tornadoes over the next couple days. Maybe not super photogenic, but I have a feeling we're going to see that QLCS tornado spam is like what I like to call it, and you get tons and tons of linear tornadoes to happen. But yeah, that's basically all for this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate you all for watching. I'll be chasing, so if you want to see all that, I have some live stream what are they called? Prepared? I don't know. I can't think of the word. They're premiered, kind of, but you can go click and click the little bell. But yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.